For today's episode of Weathering Parenthood, I'm sitting down with Michelle Olson-Rogers of the Modern Boca Mom, and we're talking about how she left the big city and her job in New York, moved down to South Florida, and started a blog.
It's just something about talking to a fellow mom who has been through it or is going through it with you.
It's really cool to see how the ever-changing landscape of content creation has caused her to evolve into the type of mom that she's become today.
There are days when I get, a puddle of tears, and then there are days when I get total sass.
Yeah.
So I never know who's going to walk down the stairs.
So Michelle from Modern Boca Mom, thanks for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
We love chatting with local moms and people that are able to help the rest of us sort of get through parenthood on a daily basis.
We all need that village.
It's a grind. It's a struggle. So tell us, for those that are listening, a little background on you. There's people who are like, who's that lady that Lauren's talking to? So tell us about who you are.
Totally fair question, since this podcast isn't local to South Florida.
Yeah.
But for those of you who do not know, my name is Michelle Olson-Rogers. I'm the founder of ModernBocaMom.com, which is a lifestyle site for the stylish and modern South Florida parent.
I love that.
Yeah, that plus social media, all that good stuff.
All the content creation that goes along with it.
It's evolved over the past 11 years, which is how long I've been doing this.
That's so exciting. So how did you come up with this concept? Like, what made you want to start this? I guess it was sort of a website and blog first before Instagram became a thing. How did that start?
Exactly. I really started out as a writer, and I'm still a writer. I contribute to Boca magazine. I have my own website because blogs are not going anywhere. Google is not going anywhere.
Right.
But I really started the website for very selfish reasons. My background is in public relations. I was working at an agency in New York, got pregnant, had the baby, and decided to relocate down here to South Florida. And as a new mom, and frankly, I was a new resident again. I'm born and raised in Boca Raton, Florida, but I last lived there when I was in high school.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, okay, now I'm a new mom. I need all these new resources for this stage of life. And there was really nothing outlining all of that information, at least in one convenient place. So I decided to start it myself, and I was going to do the research since I was personally invested in it. And Modern Boca Mom has kind of evolved into a go-to for new residents as well as new parents.
And we have a lot of new residents.
We do.
Particularly a lot of new parents. I meet a lot of people. My kids are very young. They're almost 1 and almost 4. So we're like very much at the beginning stages. We had a birthday party yesterday, and someone's like, yeah, I'm from up north. We've only been here for a year. I was like, oh, I'm born and raised down here. And they kind of look at me like I have 3 heads because it's rare to meet a native.
It is. The past 5 years, the landscape has changed down here since the pandemic exponentially.
Yeah.
I get a lot of DMs from non-parents who are just interested in, day-to-day life, because even though I am a mom, I'm also a person, and I, try to do fun things and get involved in my community. And so I really try to serve up that information.
That's awesome. Like, where's the good place to go eat? I have a night without my children. I need somewhere fun to go.
Well, right now it's Flavor
Yes.
South Florida. Yes,
Yes.
I was going to say Savor South Florida. It's Flavor South Florida.
You can also savor it.
Exactly. Savor the flavor. But that's going on. So many great restaurants in Palm Beach County. I'm really loving Motec in Boca right now. That's one of my
I have a friend who just
ones.
went there, and she said it was like fantastically delish.
The decor is gorgeous.
Yeah.
The food is amazing. That place is doing it right. Most of those restaurants on Restaurant Row are doing a great job
like
right now.
all new. Yeah, we gotta have to go there. I'm gonna have to I'm like adding it to my notes so I know where I'm supposed to go. So you were in New York working, and then you had your daughter, right?
Correct.
And how old is she now?
She's 12, going on 22, but yeah, 12.
Yeah. And I feel like the kids are all going on like the older age, and I'm like, no, like I want to go back to being perpetually 27.
Same. That's the way I feel at heart.
Yes.
Maybe 34. Well, the 20s were a great decade, but I liked my 30s better.
That's fair. I feel like I don't know what, I'm in my mid 30s now. I feel like I'm just like perpetually 27. I was like, wait, no, that was like a very long time ago. We're not that age anymore. So you were working in New York. You moved down here. Did you continue working when you moved, or was it like, no, we're just going to start this blog and this Instagram account?
I did try to live the commuter life where I would go up to New York for events or important meetings and then worked remotely. It was hard though. And you're in it right now.
Yeah.
Your one child is only one. Those early months of motherhood, especially if it's your first time, are filled with hormones and uncertainty. And we were renovating a house. It was so hard. I wouldn't ever do something like that again or wish it on my worst enemy, because trying to do everything and do it well was an impossible journey. So eventually, I think I made it about 6 months before I was like, I can't do it anymore. And it was winter in New York, so flights were getting canceled, so the commute just became untenable. And I said, you know what, I have to do something down here.
Yeah.
And obviously, the PR scene in South Florida is quite different from New York. And I was burned out, and I was a new mom. I needed something with flexibility so I could still do the Mommy and Me classes and make nap time, that kind of stuff. And I figured the only way to do that was to jump into entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. I thought, starting this website, I figured I would structure it like a PR agency, in that I would work with local clients who filled different buckets for parents, whether it's a pediatrician, a dance school, a music program, a regular school. And I would find the best client in each bucket and work with them exclusively, creating content for them on my website.
That's cool.
And I figured that would be slightly different. I would also offer them exclusivity. I still do that to this day. So I only work with one client in each category.
Okay.
Restaurants and things like that are a little bit different in that, there's just so many options. But for the main categories that parents need, especially new parents, I really wanted to find the best one. And so I've had clients working with me for, almost 10 years at this point, some of them.
That's so great.
So, so that was really why I decided to kind of shift gears, because I figured, if I could make that happen, I could really create a sustainable monthly income that I could count on, because content creators, you really never know how much money you're going to make in any given year. You could get some great opportunities, or some months can be lighter than others.
Yeah.
It's a tough way to live, especially when you have a mortgage to pay and, school bills to handle. So I really wanted to create something sustainable that I could count on. And within, I think, the first week or two, I had over 1,000 hits to my website.
That's
and I
so
thought,
great.
okay, and at this point I didn't have any clients.
And so you knew there was something there.
Yes, I really thought, I'm like, okay, there's potential here. I had a bunch of blog posts like stockpiled in there, so that way I would have content for people to look at. I obviously stuck with things that I knew people were looking for, weekend events, restaurants, things like that. And I said, okay, I think I'm going to give this my all and see what happens. Give it 6 months, give it a year, and we'll go from there. And so 11 years later, still doing it.
Still going.
Still feeding the content beast.
That's so great. Were you always like entrepreneurially inclined? Have you, was that ever like something in the back of your mind, or was it more just like, there's something missing here, I need to fill this, space with information?
I think that it was always in the cards for me at some point, but I'm very glad that I got the experience that I did working in corporate America in my 20s, because that really helped lay the foundation for a lot of what I do now. And my parents are both entrepreneurs, so I saw it growing up.
In your genetics.
Yeah, definitely. But
there.
Again, I'm really glad I have those years of experience under my belt working in PR, working in marketing, because those skills really have served what I do now.
Yeah, that's so cool that you were able to kind of like, you started this from scratch, hoping it would become a thing, and here you are 11 years later.
I did. It was scary.
Yeah,
but I did it. Life was scary on all fronts, between moving to a new place that I hadn't lived in in so long, having a newborn. It was just I look back on that time and I'm surprised I'm still standing.
I feel the same way every day. How did I get out of bed this morning? Right. But I think it's also like content creation to me, I find to be so interesting because it's such a new job. Like it's an industry.
It didn't exist when even I went to college.
Same.
Blogs were fledgling back then.
Yeah.
When I worked in PR, we would pitch the beauty editors, and our clients only cared about print. Websites were not even a priority for them, and this was in the the years between like 2005 and 2010, so not that long ago. But digital was not even a thing. And now to see where companies are spending their marketing dollars, it's been an amazing evolution, but you've had to be open enough to roll with it.
Yeah, it changes.
Yeah, because a lot of content creators, especially in the early days, I've been to a million conferences and things like that.
Right.
A lot got into it because they thought they would never have to show their faces through their work. They could photograph recipes or crafts, and then all of a sudden, Instagram became a necessary part.
People want to see the face behind the picture of whatever it is that they're doing.
Yes, and some people decided, well, I can do that. I'm happy to be on camera. I'll show that. But other people really didn't want to do it. So I think that was a huge shift in the industry. The whole advent of video becoming such a priority. I mean, Instagram stories changed the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember like when Instagram came out,
Yeah.
I was at like a brunch place in college. It was like towards the end of my college tenure. And I posted a picture of, I went to the University of Florida. So I posted a picture of like orange and blue cookies, and I put my sepia filter on it.
Of course, that filter.
Guys, I was the coolest person like in the restaurant, like posting my food, Instagram eats first. Like that was what it was, just like pictures only.
Or your shoes. It was
Yeah,
random.
like I have a
Completely
picture of
random.
shoes on my
Yeah.
Instagram. Like it's weird to think like what it's evolved to, and like how many, I'm gonna assume hundreds, maybe thousands now of different photo editing apps there are. Whereas like, 10, 15 years ago, it was like these 5 filters are the only filters you get to choose from.
And the frames.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm just so nostalgic
I know.
for all of these
it
things.
was a lot simpler back then. And now companies and partners expect you, it doesn't matter if you're a one-woman show, they expect professional level production, from lighting to sound to editing for content. And you just have to get better and better. As a content creator, it's so funny to go back even a year ago and look at your content and you're just cringing. You're like, no.
Why did I do that?
Yeah.
Why was that shadow there?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to white balance it now.
That's okay. Progress over perfection.
Exactly.
That's what I try to stick with.
Exactly. So how would you say that doing all of this, becoming a content creator and creating, the modern Boca mom, has made you a better mom?
Well, I mean, it's allowed me so many amazing opportunities to really lean into being a mother. My family, thanks to this business, we have been able to do so many cool things, from travel to experiencing events and products. Just alone, it's opened up a lot of doors for us.
Right.
But also, it's really allowed me to embrace each phase, because there are so many phases to being a mom. And now that I have a tween, I haven't quite entered those teen years yet, but we're close. We're on the precipice. But it's, I remember the baby stages, and I can, speak to my readers and followers and really empathize and understand, because I was there. We've all been through it, and I'm grateful for that, because I think you can just get swept up in the waves of motherhood. But this, especially creating content, I'll work with different partners where they want me to really talk about a certain phase. I have a partner that really wanted to have me talk about, 3 things that tween moms need to know before we start the new school year. And I'm like, oh, I got this. I had a 6th grader last year. I've been through the ringer. Now that I have a seasoned 7th grader in middle school, these are my tips. And so that's been really nice. And also, I mean, I can look back later on when my daughter has flown the coop, and I have all these memories. It's been like the ultimate scrapbook.
It's really cool to be able to also like walk through this phase, I think, like with other moms. I find that, like, to me, the most useful tool in my, I'm almost on year 4 of motherhood, is other moms.
Absolutely.
And connecting with them. How has creating this, your page and your website and all these things allowed you to connect with people? I'm going to assume not even just from Boca. You must be meeting people from maybe around the world. Someone's, DMing you or coming across your content online.
It's funny. My daughter loves to tease me, because whenever we take a flight to New York or Newark, inevitably somebody on that flight for some reason will recognize me or her and introduce themselves. And I always crack up, because I do not consider myself like a local celebrity or even like anything. When you're creating content, sometimes it feels like you're just talking into the void.
Yeah.
You don't even know if people are watching or listening. You can see the numbers on your screen, but who did what?
There's not an actual person there to talk to. It's it's a little camera. Yeah.
Exactly. But the beauty of being a hyper local content creator like I am, I get to meet a ton of my readers in person. I love that. I was in charge of a big Mommy and Me program in Boca for quite a few years. And so even just meeting those moms and seeing them weekly with their little ones, it always like quelled my baby fever. It was great. But yeah, meeting them and just at events. And, I see people all the time. I was at a restaurant the other night. night. I had a couple friends that I just ran into who are fellow moms, and I don't know. It's just great because typically if you're a national content creator, you're not seeing your readers and followers in person as much as if you're focusing on local.
You're in the local community with everyone.
Exactly. I'm one of you. You know, I am a local mom. I'm proud to be. And if you have questions, DM me. If you want to know something, make a comment. Send me an email. You know, I am accessible and happy to help make recommendations, talk about school, talk about doctors, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
I want to be a resource. That's really my purpose. Even though this is my career, I've always been a connector, and I really, really want to bring information to people who really need it.
Just trying to help all of us get through the trenches of motherhood, because it's tough.
It is.
It is very hard. Do you have a favorite part of this whole, sort of journey that you've been on so far?
Oh my gosh.
Does a memory stand out?
Well, I think an age stands out for me because
Okay.
people always, when you have a toddler, they're just constantly trying to kill themselves, I feel like. They're
insane.
Yeah, they're insane. And they're barely walking. They don't know how to run or move their bodies. They don't see danger. And so I found that when my daughter turned 5, that was the magic age where she would start to listen to logic. And that was such a huge shift in the whole motherhood journey. Just because, you can yell at them, stop, don't do that, blah, blah, blah. But if they don't really understand the why, it's it can be challenging. So I loved age 5. Really that, kindergarten through 5th grade, those were really magical years.
I love that.
And I do enjoy middle school. It's just a struggle in that they are at this age where they are working to gain their independence.
Right.
And that's an important part of middle school because truly in high school, they have to do things on their own because then, 4 years later, they're off to college. So the whole middle school journey is great in that they are working to do things on their own, but they also need you.
Yeah.
They need you.
And they might not think they need you.
Correct. There are days when I get, a puddle of tears, and then there are days when I get total sass.
Yeah.
So I never know who's going to walk down the stairs.
Sounds
morning.
So fun.
It's great, especially teenage girl hormones is so fun.
Yeah, I was going to say it's probably also like slightly awkward-ish phase time, like girls with hormones trying to figure out who they are. Like, I'm sure boys, they go, kids at that age are sort of like discovering themselves. Like I look back at photos of me in middle school and I was like, what was I thinking?
Well, I have to tell you, the girls these days do not have an ugly stage like we did.
It's not fair.
No, they went straight from shopping at Target to shopping at Sephora and watching Get Ready With Me videos because we didn't have any of that education. And I don't allow my daughter on any social media except for Pinterest. So you can only imagine the creativity that she's gleaning from the beauty videos and the makeup videos and the tutorials. I mean, it's absolutely wild.
So I'm gonna fun point in terms of like this age. When I was this age, we were using like an actual iron, like a real clothing iron to do our hair, because like there was one straightener that existed back then, and it was like $150.
Yep.
And like our mothers were not buying that for us, so we would like go into like the laundry and like lay down flat. That's how we did our hair.
That's how my mom used to straighten her hair. She would tell me stories about that.
I thought we were so innovative.
Oh my gosh. I didn't have a hair straightener until college.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think my mom was like, fine, you can borrow mine. Like, you girls have to be careful. So so she doesn't have social media. Does she have a phone?
She has a phone, mainly because she's a dancer and we needed something for her to be able to film herself moving. So that way she could go back and critique her technique, if you will. So, because ballet is very technique based.
Ooh,
so
fun.
that's real. I was trying to hold off longer, but her instructor reached out to me and said, hey,
this will be helpful for her.
This would be a really great tool. And we had very long talks prior to her using the phone. And it's great. She has a lot of older friends thanks to dance. And they've gotten into trouble with the phones, whether it's been a group text with bullying or perhaps Googling content that you should not be Googling. Yeah. So those have been wonderful opportunities for us to have conversations about the phone usage. Okay. So that way she doesn't make those same mistakes. That was huge. I want her to have access, and it's so handy to be able to text her, where am I picking you up? What time? Things like that, emergencies. That's been wonderful. And frankly, it's been great because schools, well, I guess all schools in Florida have band phones at this point.
I think something like that. I should know this off the top of my head. We do news stories on this all the time.
But that's been a wonderful opportunity because she doesn't use it during school
Right. It's
hours.
not like they can have them anyway.
Yeah. So, and it has to be all or nothing, right?
Yeah.
It can't just be, certain grades. It has to be the whole school. And there have really been no issues, which has been
That's great.
kind of shocking. The kids are all on board. They're like, if everybody has to do it, fine.
Yeah.
We'll be in
It's
it
like
together.
the FOMO. It's like if that person's using it, I want to make sure I have mine. So
Exactly.
they
But
ban it for all. It makes it, I'm sure, a little bit easier.
yeah, but I could talk about phone usage all the time. But, she also knows that if she does break my trust, then the phone is gone.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want to chance that.
Right.
The phones are a happy addition to middle school life. And she has different group chats with different, school friends, dance friends, theater friends. So they all keep in touch and they help each other remember things too, which has been great.
Yeah, that's
One
great.
less thing, is tomorrow dress uniform or is it dress down day this Friday? Things like
Right.
that.
What homework is due.
Bingo.
I'm sure there's 1,000 different things. So what does she think of your profession?
Oh, yeah.
She's on your page. Does she love it?
So she has been a part of Modern Boca Mom since pretty much birth.
Okay.
We have taught her from a young age that it is a family business.
Okay.
So she is compensated. She has a retirement account. She has been
Yes.
making
Yeah,
money
good for her.
since she was less than a year old.
That's great.
So that will benefit her later in life for sure. She was a lot more game when she was younger. And it's funny, now she is still game, but she is worried about what her friends will think. So before I post anything, I run it by her because, again, she does know that it's a family business and she does enjoy making money so she can shop at Sephora. But, there were a couple group chat situations, especially this summer, that she told me about where one of her friends saw one of my Instagram reels and it wasn't anything embarrassing, but it kind of like they called her out on it and were like, oh, look at this, Avery, you're this. Or she's in promotional pictures for local businesses. She'll kind of get teased about that occasionally. Luckily, she has really not let it get to her too much, but I have seen a shift where she is not in my content as much. And so as a business owner, I've really had to think about how I'm going to, again, evolve what I do to remain relevant to local parents, but also respect her privacy because I think in high school she'll be a part of things to an extent, but she's going to be busy. She is busy now.
Yeah.
So getting her to shoot a couple photos for with me for a client, we had to do that on Saturday. And that's that, again, that I know that is going to be something that's going to get harder and harder as she gets older.
She also might be like, Mom, no, I don't want to shoot this video for you. I want to go play with my friends or I want to go do something else. And
that's fine. But okay, Avery, then, you're not going to earn your hourly rate.
Right.
For that. So she really has to decide, but it's very much a collaboration.
Yeah.
It's an open dialogue with her because the last thing I would want to do is post something that she didn't approve of.
Right.
And she's just absolutely a wreck over it. That's not the point.
You're
this
doing
is
this
supposed
right.
to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And what a cool way for you to teach her responsibility and
Absolutely.
finance and if you want to go spend something, you have to. If you want to go buy something and spend your money, you have to work for money. I don't just give it to you.
Yeah.
Money doesn't grow on trees. Here's the value of a
Absolutely.
dollar. I
And
think
being
that's really
professional.
Yeah.
That's another thing, meeting clients, meeting people who are hosting us for trips, things like that, shaking hands, smiling, being polite. All of these things are really good life skills to have.
That's awesome. Who would have thought you could learn something like this at?
Who would have thought?
I would have that's not something I'm learning at 12 or it's just because my mom has a cool job. You know what I mean? That's not something that you would think is.
Well, the world
can
is a
be
different
relevant.
place.
It really
too,
is. It's so wild.
Kids were really meant to kind of be seen and not heard, 20, 25 years ago. And now kids are a part of things. Us millennial parents, we're
Yeah.
into having our children be with us on a day-to-day basis, whether it's for personal
Yeah.
work. We want them involved in our lives. It's different.
I love it. I think it's so cool. So you're online, obviously, that's your job. Do you think we're scrolling? I don't know about you. This should be a new exercise at the gym. I feel right? We're all just constantly scrolling on our phones. From your time as being a mom, having this page, do you think there's certain subjects or aspects of motherhood that are not talked about enough online? Do you think people don't talk about them enough, or has there been an aspect in your 12-year motherhood journey that was way different than you thought it would be?
I think that after being in this business for 11 years, there's truly a niche online for everything.
Yeah.
When I started Modern Boca Mom, a lot of people were like, why would you limit yourself to just Boca? And I'm like, well, there are a lot of families here, and
Yeah.
it's my community. I care. I really want to, promote my city and, showcase everything that's great to do here if you are a parent. But then there are moms who are just focusing on pelvic floor health.
Yeah.
There's a niche and a creator for everything. And I think that is the beauty of content creation these days, because, our landscape could be completely saturated with your typical mom influencer, mom blogger.
Right.
And so in order to be seen, and especially like on platforms like TikTok, which are heavily niched down, that's really how you get seen, is, really picking a very minuscule, obscure topic and then, blowing that up. It's been a shift, but I think if there's something you're interested in, there's a keyword search for you that will glean you the information that you need. But 12 years ago, I think, without Instagram, without TikTok, you just had your friend Google and your fellow mom friends, or friends who were, happened to have kids a couple years before you, to really give you the lowdown. But yeah, giving birth wasn't pretty. I didn't really know what to expect. And the aftermath of that, I wish I had known more.
Right? I thought the same thing. I was like, I didn't know I wasn't going to be able to walk.
Yeah.
This hurts. I can barely stand up straight. Couldn't sit in a car. You got to get like one of those like a donut pillow.
Exactly.
Like you know.
I use that boppy not just for nursing, but to sit on.
I was going to say the exact same thing. That's what I used it for.
Exactly.
I was like, I don't need this. And my husband's like, maybe it'll help you feel better to sit down. I had to like awkwardly lean over.
Oh yeah. Yep. No.
If anyone wants a kid, it's real great after.
But guarantee now, there's somebody on the internet who has a hilarious video about it, and you can laugh and learn at the same time.
It is there. But that's why I say, like, I find the most useful tool, as a new mom, is just other moms.
Yes.
Like, who can I, like, vent to today about whatever annoying thing my kid said or did? You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Yeah. And think about it, before Instagram, before even the internet, think about what our moms were doing. They must have felt so isolated.
Yes, I think about that all the time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I truly met my mom friends, my best mom friends in the wild, if you will.
Okay.
I met them at Mommy and Me class.
I love that, in the wild.
Yeah, in the wild. And so that was great. I got lucky, and you tend to be friends with moms who have kids the same age, the same gender, same interests, and then they either stick with you through the whole journey, or you meet new mom friends at different stages. It really just depends. But yes, I had no tribe when I relocated back down here to
I'm
South
sure that was
Florida.
scary for you too. How old was your daughter at the time?
I mean, she was only 5 months old at that point. Very
still
little.
very new.
And luckily, I had my mom. That was one of the reasons that we moved down here, was to be close to my parents. I had my sister, so I wasn't alone. But my mom, had kids 30 years prior, and my sister at that point was married but hadn't had any children, and so it was a good starting point. But I was so grateful to meet new mom friends who were going through the same journey, because then you don't feel isolated. You have somebody to hang out with. You have another child to occupy your child, which is also great. And so then you can have a glass of wine with your mom friend and hang out. So
I remember the day when so I have a group chat with 3 of my friends. We all met. One of them I've known for years, but the other 2, I had met them in a Mommy and Me class that we did.
Yes.
Our kids were like 6 weeks old, brand new. We all connected. We text each other every 5 seconds. I'm going to pick my phone up after this is over. And I guarantee you there will be at least one text in that group that has come out from one of them.
Yep.
And it's just a constant what's everyone doing today? Do you want to get together? Oh my God, my kid did this annoying thing. We threw our diaper down the stairs, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever the chaos is of that day.
So helpful to have them.
Yeah.
And then also we're all in different stages. All of the oldest are the same, but when number 2 comes, it's we're all there to kind of vent, I guess, and support the next person coming into the next journey, which is very cool to kind of see.
It's really cool. And what a bonus if the husbands also like each other.
Yeah, they do.
That's huge. That's the other thing. The one missing piece that nobody talks about is if the couples are friends and the kids.
We do all get together.
You've officially found the magic.
Yes. Or especially if my husband has a goofy and incredibly weird sense of humor, which is wonderful. And he connects so well with these dads, and they have just as weird of a sense of humor, which I think he's
Perfect.
like, oh, thank God, like I can be a total like goofball.
No,
and
totally.
and not
You have to have a sense of humor. Life is hard.
so hard.
And, kids are exhausting. And to be able to find a tribe that you can talk to, but also, maybe take the occasional trip with.
Oh, yeah, we did that. We all went to Disney together.
Yeah. Those are also really, really wonderful because then you have that help too. Instead of having only 2 pairs of eyes on your child, then you have.
Yeah. Oh, I remember what I was
four.
going to say. Tangent. I have, me and my stories. So I remember the day we were playing at one of our friends' houses. We were all together, and it was the first time all of our oldists were old enough that we didn't have to sit on the floor next to them and play. Because I feel like sometimes it's like we're getting together, but we're independently playing with our children next to each other. We can't necessarily engage in a full conversation. And I remember the day they were just like sitting on the patio, all playing nicely. Nobody was like falling over because they couldn't walk yet. We were like, you guys, like, we made it.
Yep.
Like, this is it.
Just wait till age 5.
It's going to be even better.
It is. That's the magic age where they listen to logic, remember?
That's true. Can't wait for that. I did say to Michelle before we started, I like have 1,001 of these headbands. And now I know I can, in fact, wear a headband and podcast at the same time.
You can.
It works really well.
It is. Yeah, it's great. It feels comfortable. All good.
It's good to know. I'm going to do it next week, hopefully, if I don't forget to bring one. So what has been your favorite place that you've discovered so far in Boca? Is there like a hidden gem that you were like, you guys gotta
Boca.
go, or anywhere?
Well, I'll actually stick with Boca. One of my most popular series that I've been doing for a few months now, it's called Secret Boca.
Oh, fun.
So the whole point of the series is to reveal a hidden gem, whether it's, a location, an event, an experience to people who are new to the area or new to my page, if you will, and it is gotten me a lot of new followers who are clearly interested in our city. And you know how we talked about earlier how I'm kind of having to pivot a little bit now that my daughter is older, and I'm really having to rethink how I want to position Modern Boca Mom in the community. And so this has been a fun and successful way to kind of put myself out there, but also reveal, something interesting. So I've done several of these Secret Boca videos, and one just went hugely viral. We have a new area of our town called North Park. And it was formerly a golf course, tennis courts, like kind of a country club, but old school, and it went out of business and then was sold to our Parks and Rec department, I want to say like 8 years ago at this point.
Okay.
So they've had other projects, other priorities, and so now North Park is starting to get some momentum. And so Boca Paddle, they are doing a public-private partnership with the city for an indoor pickleball facility and club. So they already broke ground on that, so that's exciting. And directly across the street, this is if you're local to Boca, it's 2nd Avenue and Jeffrey Street. Right across the street, the city decided to launch something called a traffic garden.
I was going to say, is this that little like traffic street thing that you could practice like riding your bike on or whatever?
Exactly.
Okay, I saw this video too. It's very cute.
And it was huge. And so I did a video about it before the ribbon was cut. I wanted to be first on the scene with the news, just like CBS.
I love that. You're doing so great.
I'm trying with Modern Boca Mom. And so I did a video about it, and it went viral not only on Instagram, but I separately upload them on Facebook and TikTok too, just to see how each one does.
Yeah.
So it did really, really well on Facebook. And then I wrote an article for Boca Magazine after the ribbon cutting, and that was hugely successful. I think at last measurements, it was like over 8,000
That's so
views.
great.
And that's really good for bocamag.com. So I'm like, dang it, I should have written it for my own website. But
that's okay.
That's fine. It's all going.
You did it for them.
Yeah.
It was a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
People know it was you.
So that has been, things like that are really, really wonderful to share with the community. And that's definitely a hidden gem because it's so new, but also really a unique offering to have in a city.
Yeah.
But it's little streets and traffic signage and things like that. So kids who have bikes or scooters, they can practice learning the rules of the road.
That's really
on this
cute.
and there's bleachers for parents. They just added restrooms. I know that shade structures are on the way. So because it's Florida, let's be real, we need some shade. So it's exciting because there's a lot of new opportunities for that area because it was a huge golf course. There's a lot of land.
Yeah.
And that's rare these days in South Florida. So there's a couple other things that I'm keeping, my eyes on coming up. But I would say, yeah, as of right now, that's been great. I think North Park in general, and I'm lucky that I live like right there.
Yeah.
So it's handy. I could ride my bike or walk over
That's
to a lot
so
of these
cool.
places. It's going to be a big game changer for Boca Raton.
Oh, I'm excited. I love that so much. So a couple more questions before we have to wrap up.
Sure.
Why do you think it's important for moms to connect with each other?
You can't do it alone.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, there's that, stereotypical phrase, it takes a village. The village has changed. Our parents had their parents, maybe some aunts and uncles back when they were raising us. And I don't think I ever had a babysitter. Maybe one time. It was always a grandparent who came over and watched me. We were very lucky that they either were snowbirds here or they lived locally.
Okay.
But now with the way the world works and we're traveling and moving places for our careers, that village as it looked like 25 years ago is not the same.
Yeah.
You have to find those friends who are like family. You have to find the people who you trust with your children. It's hard these days, but emergencies happen, or you need just help with getting one child from this practice to this house afterwards.
Yeah.
These little things, especially as your kids get older and they have their own lives, which is wild. Because when I'm sure you're in it and you're just like, they don't have a life.
Right,
They're
I
in my
know.
life. But that you have to. And just having the emotional support that you can count on to talk you off the ledge. Our partners are wonderful. I hope most of it. Mine's wonderful and he's great. But, it's just something about talking to a fellow mom who has been through it or is going through it with you. It just, I don't know. There's just a level of comfort there that you can't match anywhere else. It's so important. And it's in Boca specifically, I've noticed lately that there are businesses popping up where they're almost like mommy matchmaker services, where they're creating circles of moms who have kids that are certain ages as well as certain interests and things like that.
Nice.
And they're putting them together, not necessarily for mommy and me, that's a part of it, but really trying to create relationships because there's a huge need for this.
Yeah.
I'm happy to create content and, showcase what's available, but having somebody who is singularly focused on helping you find that tribe, that's again like these businesses that didn't exist
Yeah.
years ago. Look at what's happening now. It's wonderful.
It is very cool.
Yeah.
It does take a village. I mean,
does.
if I can't vent to someone about something, it just keeps it up inside. Then then you're just in a terrible mood for the rest of the day.
Again, we're lucky we have that. Our parents didn't.
Yeah.
And so they either had to be out and meeting people at the library or the mommy and me classes and just be physically out all the time. Now we can sit, on our couch with Sex and the City on the TV in the
Right.
background and on our phones, grieving or sending grievances about whatever's happened that day. So
it takes the world, this giant place, and just makes it this small.
Yep.
It can shrink. And then you can connect with people, and I think that's really cool. And I think it's what you've done and built with your community is awesome because it also gives people what do I do with my kid today? Let's go.
Yeah,
let's
and
go to Michelle and find out.
And on a, I don't know, it's a macro or micro level. I've created a Facebook group. I have, I think, over almost 12,000 members where people
so
can
great.
ask questions and respond. I really try to limit advertisements in that group because as we know, Facebook groups can get really muddy. And I really try to keep this an active conversation, at least, so you can, get a lead for whatever it is that you might need. So I've tried to really create it. But, there is nothing like going to a small in-person gathering. Mommy and Me was how I met my best friend and my mom friends. Those physical group gatherings are still going to be, I think, the most likely place where, you'll find your people.
Yeah, I agree. I love that. All right, so I'm our station's meteorologist, so I like to end each episode with what I call our sun and our storm, like your rose and your thorn, your pit and your peak for the week. So we're now I share them every week. So I'll go first so that you're like, what the heck is this lady talking about? So I like to start with our storm because we have to end on a positive note.
Great.
Right? Me, Mrs. Positivity all the time. Okay, so my kids got me sick last week. I was I never call out of work ever. It's just I don't really get sick very often. And I was achy and I had a fever. I felt like I was a child
back
again.
To school germs.
It was so that was annoying. And my youngest has really bad diaper rash right now. Oh. I had to get prescription cream, bad diaper rash, which happened out of nowhere. I think it's because I'm nursing him and I was sick. So my milkmaid has, His poop was gross. I'm just gonna get this podcast is gross sometimes, but like that's the reality of motherhood, which is why we sometimes talk about poop and diapers.
Yep.
And my son was that he my youngest is starting to take a few steps, which is like so cool to see. And he stands and he claps. I don't want to break the microphone. He claps with his like two little teeth, and he has no other teeth. There's two little bottom ones, and he just like has the biggest smile on his face, and he claps, and it's like so cute. And he gets so proud of himself.
I am surprised you didn't just push him to the ground, because you know how hard it is once they start walking.
He's been standing since he was like 6 months old. He is like, oh, wow. I'm gonna stand up now because he's an older brother.
Yeah, exactly, an older brother. So he wants to keep up. He doesn't want to be left behind.
No, he does not.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have yours? I know it's like on the spot.
This is a funny one, and you'll laugh if you're local, but I have to tell you, the pit of my week has been trying to figure out where to get gas for all of the mom Ubering that I'm doing, because Costco has been closed.
It's still closed?
No, it's open now. It opened, I think, yesterday.
Guys, they closed. Anyone can come, like, I think this is relatable. They had to close the Costco because they are expanding the gas station. It was closed for like a week and a half, I think, 2 weeks.
No, longer, like 3 weeks.
Was it 3? I have no concept of time.
And it was supposed to open up on Friday, and we went on Friday, and we're just like cracking up because, again, we all have SUVs, and I needed to fill up. And here I am, like, trying to find a random gas station that had decent prices when we're so spoiled by Costco.
Costco's the best.
That has been like a shockingly annoying part of the week. Go figure. But yes, so luckily that's back open. And so then I would say my peak, with this fall season starting, I have some potential really exciting opportunities coming up.
That's so great.
And I'm really crossing my fingers for one. So I'm just going to manifest it and put it out there in the universe. But that's the thing, even though it can often be a pit being a content creator, especially when you have months that are slow and you do not have those collaborations that are going to bring in your monthly income, when they do come, it's really, really exciting because you're like, wow, people are still seeing my stuff and they want to work with me, and maybe I am making a difference after all.
I love that. That's so great. Hey, look, I find it a valuable resource. Like, if I don't know what I'm supposed to do, like, I'm going on, we're finding an activity. It's on your website. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate it.
It is very useful. So for people that are listening, and if they're either coming to visit or they live down here or they want to go visit Boca or whatever it is, how can people find you and connect with you and all your stuff?
Very easy. modernbocamom.com, and I am a Modern Boca Mom on all platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. But I'm always reachable by DM or email, but everything is on my website. So pretty much if you head to modernbocamom.com, you're good to go.
I love my conversation with Michelle, and I love talking about the ever-changing landscape of content creation and how it's gone from her page has gone essentially from a blog to now being on all these different platforms, and how it shaped the way that she has become a mom and the way that she's connected with others. It truly does take a village. You gotta find your tribe. And we know parenthood a lot of times is filled with sunshine and rainbows, and it is wonderful, but we also certainly know that when it rains, it pours.